threatening to do this for a couple of days. Today I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to tell you my story. Now, you may be thinking, so what, Richard? Who cares about your story? Here's why I think it's important. I have crafted my story in such a way to let you know that you can actually do what I do. So let me back up for a minute and say this. I made a commitment a few days ago to start live streaming every day the process of building an information business coaching consultancy agency. Basically, here's what that means is I want to walk step by step with you as you take what you know and turn it into cash flow. So a high level idea about what information products are is basically just taking something, a skill or a path that you've walked and turning it into a step-by-step process that makes the learning curve, that makes what you did a shortcut for people that are where you were, that want to be where you are. So let me back up just a little bit and say this too. I spent every minute of the last 30 years selling something, the last 25 or 30 years. I have always been in sales. When I turned 30, I was sitting in church one Sunday and my pastor said this: about the time you turn 40, you stop thinking about how old you are and start thinking about how much time you have left. Well, I'd had this itch for a while to start my own thing. I just didn't know what it was. At the time, I was doing church construction consulting, so I was flying all over the country talking to churches and pastors about the process of beginning to build a new facility. And it was a bit of a nightmare in a lot of ways, being gone from my family. I'd never been on staff at a church or anything like that, and here I was leading these multi-million-dollar projects, and I just had an itch to do something on my own. So when my pastor preached that sermon, I started really thinking, yeah, maybe now's the time at 40 years old, because again, how much time do I really have left? So I dove in and started thinking through that. And to be honest with you, I went through a period of like stress and anxiety because I just couldn't come up with an idea that I thought was viable, but I was feeling the tension of doing something. I got myself so worked up about it that I actually, in 2012, I went to my boss and I said, hey, I'm leaving. And I had kind of invented this new way to sell consulting, which was to, leverage platforms like Twitter and Facebook to drive organic traffic. I was just writing a bunch of blogs and then posting them and sending them out to the pastors that I was talking with one-on-one. And then I decided, I've got to put them into an environment where I actually can convince them to get on the phone with me. So I built a webinar to do that. So I started to kind of build this rudimentary process. And I just got the itch, and I went in December the 5th, 2012, and I said, hey, I've got 2 projects I'm working on right now. When they're done, I'm going to go do my own thing. And so I did that. I spent about 8 or 9 months making the longest exit from an organization ever. I still loved those guys that I worked with, but I just knew that I was created for more. And that's really what I want you to get out of this part of the story is if you're asking that question, if you've got an itch as to whether or not you're created for more, make sure that you're with me on this journey. Like this video, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment in there or just email me at support@richard.com, richardchancey.com. Boy, if I had richard.com, that'd be awesome. Support@richardchancey.com. Those links will be in the description here. So I jumped out, started my own thing, and about 6 months in, I started my own thing. My own thing was actually doing exactly what I was doing before, which was church construction consulting, but I was trying to be a little bit more local, do it on my own, and then I would bring the contractors in to build the buildings. And about 6 months in, I woke up and I was like, man, I really just don't love this part of this. The hustle of consulting, when you're in consulting, if any of you are watching this and you sell consulting and you are the consultant, if you do that for a living, you have 2 full-time jobs, a sales job and then a consulting job. And if you're not good at selling, you won't be doing any consulting. And so I woke up one day and I had a couple consulting clients and I was like, man, this is just driving me crazy. And about that time, I met another pastor, a mentor of mine introduced me to a pastor that had an information product, this 24-month church growth program that they had built, spent a boatload of money creating a really good product, but didn't have the expertise, the energy, or the time to be able to take it to market. And because I had done a little bit of work building websites, not enough to actually say that I could build a membership site, I said, yeah, I can do that. And that was actually July the 3rd, 2013. We launched that course in the middle of August of that year. Immediately we got some interest and then nothing. So we had a little bit of interest up front. We were selling a $100 a month program. Actually, it was $79 a month for 24 months back then, this training that we were selling online. And I was kind of limping along. In fact, 6 months later, we had 17 clients paying $79 a month. Not exactly what you would call an internet marketing success. I was still doing some consulting and that kind of stuff. And honestly, I just prayed about it one morning and decided, hey, no more consulting. I'm going to burn these ships and go after this information marketing business. And in about 6 weeks, we went from $1,500 a month to about 20 grand a month. Now, some of that I believe was divine. Some of it was focus. Some of it was just saying, you know what? I got a few bucks left. I'm going to learn how to build a business like this. That was 6 years ago. Since then, we've put 3,500 people in that. I've had the opportunity to work again with an old boss of mine, John Maxwell, building a podcast and a continuity program with information products. And it's just been a whirlwind. Now, am I a multi-millionaire driving a Lamborghini? Absolutely not. To be honest with you, maybe that stuff comes from me down the road, but the reality is that's not what I'm really after. I love the currency of currency, just like everybody else. I like eating and living indoors, and I like to take my family on nice vacations. But what I love more than that is influence freedom, the ability to wake up every day and decide that I'm going to do live streams to impact a crowd of people that don't have a clue as to who I am. I like the time freedom. I work from my house a lot of days. I have an office that I work from some days. Some days I work from Starbucks, and I pretty much make up my own agenda. But I still got to do a couple of things every day. I got to create content for you. I got to create content for these other platforms. I got to sell every day. I have to wake up and sell every single day. The thing that I love about this business, this information products business, over anything I've done before was the elation that I get after making a sale, making an impact, creating time freedom for somebody else in this business. It is exponentially an order of magnitude greater than what I was doing before, because used to I would make a sale and then the next morning I wake up and go, oh my gosh, I got to walk somebody through this consulting process. Well, when you take your knowledge and put it into an online training, you don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so you can push people in. Once you get your site built and you get it perfected, you can push people in. You want to always be making it better and serving your customers, communicating with them. But the consulting work that gets done, it's on the back end. Okay, the other thing I love about it is we can build front-end funnels with email marketing, with platforms like Infusionsoft and with ClickFunnels. We can build webinars, and basically a webinar is just an opportunity for me to add value to you and then make an offer to you. And some of you decide to move forward with it. So my story goes from when I graduated college in 1994, internet was not a word. The way I make my living now didn't exist 10 years ago. Nobody was doing what I do now 10 years ago. Here's my encouragement to you. Whether you're starting out in your career or you're halfway through and you don't know how you're going to get to the end, this is what I would encourage you to do. Exactly what I did, and I may have missed this. I started writing a blog, generating traffic, leads, and sales for that construction business long before I left my company. One of the things I hope to be able to influence you here is to develop some new skills, to develop some marketing skills that go along with your sales skills, okay? If you sell for a living, kid, you already do the hardest thing that gets done in that organization. Let me just tell you that. In fact, I know I'm a sales guy, so this is a biased comment. There's only two kinds of people in any organization: people that sell stuff and people that support the people that sell stuff. Can I get an amen? I know that you that don't sell stuff don't necessarily believe that, but hey, hopefully I'll convince you to start selling something real soon, because selling is not something that we do to people. It's something we do for people. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there. I just want to get you thinking about what the next season might be and how you build some new skills that you can leverage where you are that might propel you into the next season of your life. Okay, here's how you move forward with me. Subscribe to this channel. If you have questions that we can put on the live stream, support@richardchancey.com. And finally, I have this course up and ready for you called whatsmycourse.com. You'll get a free information product that you can go and check out right now today. Get signed up and find out what your course is. Thanks for being with me. This is Richard Chancey, out.